I know it sounds a little too early, but we really need to come up with a plan for the post-Trump America. Even if that guy somehow manages to suspend the Constitution and cancel the elections, he still can't stay forever, right? There's a physical limit to how long his diapered ass can live. And if JD takes over and tries to stay as a dictator, I don't think it will end well for him. I've never seen a dictator with a fucking unshaved baby face. He's gonna fail so miserably. So let's think about what to do when this crazy period is over. One thing everyone from left to middle to right agrees is that the current system is not working. That's pretty easy to tell, right? So what system would work? That's $1 million question. I'll tell you what I have in mind, but please share your idea too. By the way, you want to make it specific. I heard a lot of people say something like end capitalism. I mean, I was young once. I understand the passion. But what the heck do you mean by that? You don't want to waste your 20s and 30s on something you can't even define. Like, what do you mean by end capitalism? Nationalize McDonald's? How do you formalize end capitalism in the form of legislation? You don't know, right? Let's be honest. Anti-capitalism is really a word game with no substance. I have a PhD in political science, and back in China I also read tons of Marxist stuff. I still have no idea what the word capitalism means because everyone has a different definition. It's like saying, let's end evilness. Okay, sure, but how? So can we just stop playing these childish word games? There are so many political concepts with crystal clear definitions. Why focus on a word that doesn't? Life is short. Let's be specific. Is that okay? If you haven't read enough to form specific concepts, that's fine. But at least use intuitive examples. Like, which country's political system do you want America to copy? That shouldn't be hard, right? You just look around the world and find your favorite country, and then we can sit down and have some discussion about their systems. So either have a specific concept or have a specific example. If you really want to end capitalism, at least tell me which country you believe has ended capitalism, right? Then we can talk about that country. How about that? Okay, here's my very specific idea about a political system. There's nothing ambiguous about it. It's basically just a copy of the New Zealand electoral reform in the 90s. It's very simple. Just change the electoral system from a majoritarian first past the post system to a proportional system. That's it. So what's a proportional system? I explained it in detail before, but in a nutshell, it's just a system that ensures each party's seat share in the parliament is proportional to its vote share in the latest election. It's basically just a change of math in how to allocate seats for each party. It's so simple that you may doubt how effective it will be. But guys, let me tell you, the effect will show up immediately. Not in 5 years or 10 years, but immediately. You can see it from the numbers. New Zealand used to be a two-party system like the US. There were small parties, but they didn't matter, too small. And after the reform, look at this. The transformation of the New Zealand party system was instant. Don't tell me you can't see the difference. Northern Ireland had a similar reform in the 1970s. Look at this. These are the seat shares and vote shares of the largest party in the Northern Ireland Assembly. Just boom. Well, of course, this didn't solve all the problems right away. The Northern Ireland conflict kept on going for another 20 years or something. But it was an 800-year-old conflict. You can't expect it to disappear overnight. At least this new party system was a fresh start. Way better than having a permanent ruling party and a one-dimensional political divide. Every progress has to start somewhere, right? How often do you see a reform whose effect is so straightforward and so undeniable? This is actually why I chose electoral systems as my dissertation topic. My original ambition was that if one day China starts having elections, maybe I can sell my expertise and write up some Federalist Papers kind of stuff, cosplay founding fathers. That's a nice plan, right? Yeah, but the reality is that China not only won't have elections, but also remove the term limits. So it looks like I have to sell this stuff to you guys. I know a lot of you want more parties, right? This is how you get it. Of course, some small party activists out there are playing with us. They claim they love small parties only because they want to split the Democratic votes and help their man Donald. So they probably won't like such a reform. But I know there are a lot of people who sincerely want more parties. If you are one of them, let me tell you, there's no better way to achieve it. Don't take my word for it. Ask any political scientist you bump into. Specifically, ask them what they think about the New Zealand electoral reform. So what does a proportional electoral system look like? Well, it can take many different forms. There's list PR, mixed member proportional system, there's single transferable vote system, etc. It'll take hours to explain their difference. But they're all similar in the way that the party's seat shares and vote shares are largely proportional. Not only small parties will gain seats immediately, voters, knowing that their votes won't be wasted, will also move their votes to small parties over time. A reform like this is so safe and promising because electoral systems are one of the most studied topics in political science, and scholars have a pretty good idea how each system works. If you hate the jargon, you can search for this highly accessible book called Electoral System Design, the New IDEA Handbook. The PDF is free, so why not? Because of the abundance of knowledge in this area, it's very hard to go wrong. It's so much safer than nationalizing McDonald's, I promise you. The US case is more complicated than New Zealand, of course. A reform like this can only fix the House. The Senate will still be a big headache, and the Electoral College. But they're all fixable because political scientists have been studying different electoral systems for decades and accumulated mountains of data from thousands of elections around the world. The solutions are just right in front of us. It's all a matter of political will. I know it's a long shot for a big thing like this to pass that stupid Congress, but so many people out there want more parties. When the number is large enough, anything is possible. At the end of the day, politics is a game of numbers. So here's my idea. I think there should be a nationwide, if not worldwide, discussion about electoral systems. If you are a political candidate or an activist or a content creator, please try to read up on the topic and talk about it. If for some strange reason you don't find the New Zealand solution exciting, at least talk about why you don't like it. It's time to work, guys.